Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ali and here I just talk to myself about books and then someone, maybe you, may or may not watch this at a later date. Today I'm going to be doing my usual monthly unboxing plus a slightly unexpected book haul. Let's get started. It was recently my birthday, so I did receive a couple of books from friends, and then I also had some book vouchers to spend, which I didn't really see as breaking any book buying bans because I wasn't spending money on it. Now, the only reason I went on a book buying ban, and it's a very lax book buying ban, was because my book cart is on its last legs. I can see it crashing through the floor. It's that heavy because it's that laden with books. However, what am I meant to do, you know? It gives me so much dopamine to get new books, so here we are. So first of all, I'll start with a couple of books that I received as a gift from my friend. She knows me very, very well. She is the one that recommended the Broken Earth trilogy and the Greenbone saga to me, which ended up being two of like my favourite fantasy series ever. So I very much love any books that she recommends. And she took a bit of a gamble and decided to go rogue and just get me two books without really knowing if I had them or not yet. But luckily I do not have either of them, but they were both very much high on my list to get. So the first one we have is Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley. This is one that has been absolutely everywhere and I have not yet picked it up but I've been meaning to. I've heard really, really good things about this. I feel like last year it's all anyone ever talked about, and I'm hoping it's going to be fun because it sounds like I'm going to enjoy it. But I'll just quickly read the back. So a civil servant is offered a lucrative job in a mysterious new government ministry, gathering expats from across history to test whether time travel is feasible. Her role is to work as a bridge, living with, supporting and monitoring expat 1847 Commander Graham Gore, a former Victorian polar explorer. Gore, an adventurer by trade, soon adjusts to this new bizarre world of washing machines, feminism and Spotify, and during a long sultry summer the pair move from awkwardness to friendship to something more. But as the true shape of the project that brought them together begins to emerge, Gore and the bridge are forced to confront their past choices and imagined futures. Can love triumph over the histories that have shaped them? And how do you defy that history when it is living in your house? I mean, that sounds really interesting. I've never really read something like this. Actually, saying that, maybe it's like a more fun, less serious version of like Outlander. But they don't go forward in time. It does remind me a little bit of, what was that movie like ages ago, like Kate and Leopold, I think it was called, with Meg Ryan and Hugh Jackman. I remember watching it when I was a lot younger, but I feel like it's a bit like this. He was like a commander, I think, from that sort of time period and ends up in her future. But yeah, so very much looking forward to reading this, and also I like that she got me this cover. I really enjoy the contrast and it's nice and bright because there's different coloured paperback covers. And then the next book she got me is another one that I have been eyeing up ever since it came out, like months ago. And that is Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon by Mizuki Tsujimura. And this is the same author that wrote Lonely Castle in the Mirror, which ended up being like absolutely one of my favourite reads of, I want to say 2023. Or maybe it was last year. I think it was 2023. I don't know. I've literally lost all concept of time and space. But yeah, I absolutely adored that book. I read it during January in Japan, or Japanuary, which is something I do every January. So I read like predominantly translated Japanese fiction. And then I tend to intersperse a few little other books in it. But I have been eyeing up this one for a long, long time. I think I'm going to love it just because I absolutely love the writing in the last novel and it sounds interesting as well. So, is there anyone from the afterlife you wish to see? So asks the smart young man Ayumi to his clients who have come to him for a reunion with the person who once changed their life. Ayumi's clients must follow strict rules. The deceased cannot have been summoned by anyone else, they may refuse, and they must meet under a full moon. Anxious Hirase asks to see the celebrity who showed her kindness at a critical moment. An arrogant man wants clarity about the family home from his beloved mother. After a fatal accident, a schoolgirl has a question for her former best friend, and a salaryman wants to ask the only woman he ever loved what caused her to run away. With each reunion, tantalising clues are scattered for readers to piece together the emotional truth in this mesmeric and unputdownable tale of kindness, compassion and connection. So, I mean, this sounds like I'm absolutely gonna love it, because it also sounds a little bit like When the Coffee Gets Cold, which is a little series about this like magical cafe where people can go and travel to the past or the future by drinking a cup of coffee and seeing someone else that they want to see from either the past or future. And I absolutely love that series, so this sounds perfect and I can't wait to pick it up, but I might have to stay strong and keep it until January so I can do January in Japan. And next is books that I got for myself, but I did use vouchers that I received for my birthday, so really they were birthday gifts. First of all, I had to get the newest Ali Hazelwood book, obviously, so Problematic Summer Romance. However, I realised that it's actually an interconnected series, and this is the second book to Not in Love, which I had not yet read, so obviously ended up getting Not in Love as well. Now, I've loved Ali Hazelwood's books. I most recently read Love on the Brain and ended up really enjoying it because it was very, very similar to Love Hypothesis, which is one of my favourite, very easy to read rom-coms. It's one I go back to time and time again. So I've been looking forward to reading more Ali Hazelwood. The only one I haven't been overly enticed to pick up so far is Bride, and I know that there's a sequel to that coming out as well, but I might end up picking it up, I don't know. However, this one I have heard slightly mixed things about, but it's mainly because it's not like the usual rom-com format. Apparently this deals with slightly more serious topics, and it's a little bit smuttier than some of the other books, but I have heard good things as well as bad, so I'm willing to absolutely make up my mind. And I do enjoy Ali Hazelwood's writing. It's easy to read, you know what you're getting. And then this one, as I said, is interconnected series, so I presume we'll kind of see the characters from this one a bit later on in this one. I'm excited. Ali Hazelwood has not let me down yet. If you've seen my reading vlog that I recently posted, you will also see that I picked up a couple of books from the works whilst I accidentally walked past it before getting my haircut, and it was because I kept seeing it everywhere. So the first one I got was Nightshade by Autumn Woods. I'm actually in the middle of reading this right now. I'm quite enjoying it. It's maybe not as maybe it's a little bit overhyped. I kept seeing it everywhere, but it's okay. It's good for what it is, I think, and I'm enjoying it. It's just maybe not got the character and relationship development between the characters, not even just the like male character, sorry, the FMC and the MMC, but also just like the friendship group. I don't feel like those relationships are really that well developed. However, I'm still enjoying it. It's fun and it is just a stunning book, so I'm gonna end up keeping it regardless because look at these edges. This follows Ophelia, who is orphaned now. She is 20 years old, I believe, and ends up going to Sorosong University, which welcomes students from like the richest, most powerful families, including like the mafia. Her parents died mysteriously on the grounds of Sorosong University a few years prior, and she has now received a scholarship and wants to take it, despite the fact that she promised her parents that she would never go to that university, never visit the grounds, because there is just something wrong with it. But she kind of wants to take this opportunity as a chance to get her life going, because she's been stuck in a rut ever since they passed away, but also to try and investigate what happened to them, because it's all very hush-hush and very secret. She then ends up meeting Alex on her first day there, and soon finds out that he's actually the son of like her prime suspect to what happened to her parents. So she is battling with these feelings for him, as well as trying to find out what happened and wanting to kind of implode his dad's life. So there's all of that going on, but yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I'm probably going to finish this today, and I'll probably then post a review on Instagram. But yeah, keep an eye out. The other one I picked up on the same day, again because the Works has got the cutest sprayed edges recently and they're just so cheap. I picked up The Pairing, again another one that I've been seeing around, by Casey McQuiston. This is the same author that did Red, White and Royal Blue, which I really enjoyed, and I believe that this is also a queer romance. I'll quickly read the back. So Theo and Kit have been childhood best friends, crushes, lovers, and after a brutal breakup 4 years ago, estranged exes. It's not until they're trapped aboard a tour bus that Theo and Kit realise they've accidentally booked the same European food and wine tour, and now they're stuck with each other for 3 weeks of the most romantic sights and sensuous flavours of France, Spain and Italy. But it'll be fine, they're absolutely over each other. Sounds like a cute, queer, steamy summer romance. The edges are absolutely adorable and again very like European summer vibes, so I'm very much looking forward to picking this up as well. Next, I've picked up one that I've been wanting to read for a long time but I kept putting off, mainly because I couldn't find the cover without the people on it, and I don't like real people on covers. Like, I don't mind cartoony ones like this or this, I actually really love ones like this, but when it's like a photo of a person, hate it.
Hate it, hate it, hate it.
So this one is Burn For Me by Ilona Andrews. It does sound a bit like it's going to be, you know, just a smut book with no plot. However, I've heard really good things about this series from very reputable sources of people that I very much, you know, follow time and time again. They do have great, you know, opinions, they have great recommendations, and they've enjoyed these too. So I am quite excited to read these. I think they're like urban fantasy, or I guess romantasy inspired. It is a long series. I'm not sure how many books there are, but I'll quickly read the blurb. Nevada Baylor runs a small-time detective agency in Houston, Texas, exposing cheaters and busting scammers. She's very good at her job, helping by a magical ability to sense when someone tells the truth or lies. But when she's forced to take a case to find extremely violent fire mage, Nevada knows she's out of her league. To bring him to justice, she'll have to join forces with someone who wields an even more dangerous power. Connor Mad Rogan is a former combat mage, a telekinetic singularly responsible for ending a war, and a member of one of the most powerful magical families in the world. His nephew has been kidnapped by a fugitive pyromaniac, and Nevada is his best chance of finding them both. Bound by their missions, Nevada and Connor clash over the tactics and moral beliefs, even as things undeniably heat up between them. So, I mean, this sounds really good. So I'm very excited. This will probably hit all of the right... Oh, it says here how many books there are. So I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 including a novella. So here we have. But yes, this will hit all the right spots for summer because it's a bit of a romance. It's also got fantasy. It's also a bit urban. So I'm very much excited to read this, and I have heard good things. Let me know if you've read it and what you thought about this down below. Next is a book that I might sneak onto my July TBR if I'm able to, because I've been dying to continue with this duology and I've just been putting it off for so long. Every time I've popped into like my local Waterstones or any Waterstones that I kind of walk past whilst going to work, for example, I've just not found this, so I ended up ordering it online. But this is Parable of the Talents by Octavia E. Butler, which is the sequel to Parable of the Sower, which is over here. Which is like a dystopian with kind of a bit of like religion focused fantasy. I'll quickly read the back of this one because this one will obviously spoil it. But America is a place of chaos where violence rules and only the rich and powerful are safe. Lauren Olamina, a young woman with the extraordinary power to feel the pain of others as her own, records everything she sees of this broken world in her journal. Then, one terrible night, everything alters beyond recognition, and Lauren must make her voice heard for the sake of those she loves. Soon, her vision becomes reality and her dreams of a better way to live gain the power to change humanity forever. So I read this maybe like last year, or even maybe the year before, I can't remember, but I absolutely loved it. I thought the writing was brilliant. I really enjoyed the story, and because I've recently entered somewhat of a dystopian era,
I volunteer as tribute!
I really wanted to finish this off, and I love Octavia E. Butler's writing. So I've also read Kindred, which I really enjoyed by her, and I am very much open to reading anything else she's written, so I will definitely keep an eye out. But yeah, so I will try and sneak this onto my July TBR because I really want to finish this duology off. Next, I decided that I wanted to spend an Amazon voucher that I was gifted on some independently published books. I ended up watching a bunch of videos. I went on Reddit and had a little read through of recommendations of like fantasy, epic fantasy, or like fantasy series that were independently published that people recommended, and these two kept coming up on top and just sounded like I would really enjoy them. So firstly, we have the Bound and the Broken book 1, which is called Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. This is, I think, a trilogy, but don't quote me. I've heard really, really good things about this author in general, and even better things about this series, so I very much wanted to pick it up. It's kind of like, the way I'm understanding this is a little bit like a more fantastical Game of Thrones, but very like political and a little bit dark and a little bit violent, but I will quickly read the blurb. So, Etheria is a land divided by war and mistrust. The High Lords of the South squabble and fight, only kept in check by the Dragon Guard, traitors of a time long past, who serve the Empire of the North. In the remote villages of the southern Etheria, still reeling from the tragic loss of his brother, Caelan Briar prepares for the proving. A test of courage and skill that not all survive. But when three strangers arrive in the village of Milltown with a secret they are willing to die for, Caelan's world is ripped from under him and he is thrust headfirst into a war that has been raging for centuries. There is no prophecy. His coming was not foretold. He bleeds like any man, and bleed he will. I mean, that sounds great. Does it not sound great? I'm very, very excited to pick this up, and again, we'll see how my July reading goes and whether I can sneak that one on too. The next one I got was another first in a very long series. Apparently this one's like many books. I think this has got 9 books in this series. So this is the Echoes Saga Rise of the Ranger by Philip C. Quaintrell, and again, this is another one that I kept seeing either recommended on BookTube, on Bookstagram, and on Reddit, so I very much wanted to pick this up. And this is more of an epic high fantasy saga with like elves, dwarfs, mages, wizards, the likes. So the Echoes of Fate, a prophecy uttered unto the world 1,000 years ago, cannot be denied. Which is quite funny because this is like about how there is no prophecy, and this one is all about prophecy. But anyway, mankind has lorded over the land of Ilion for 1,000 years, enjoying what was left to them by the elves as if it were the birthright. 1,000 years is a long time for an immortal race to see the error of their ways and realise a truth that has remained unsaid for millennia. Elves are superior. They are faster, stronger, and connected to the magical world in a way that the man could never grasp. Ilion is their birthright. The 6 kingdoms of man are fractured, unallied, and always clawing at each other's doors for more power. War is coming. So again, it sounds like another kind of political, dark, potentially a little bit violent fantasy, which is kind of the right of fantasy that I do enjoy. I know I have read a lot of like fantasy romance and romantasy as well, but I do very much also like more standard stereotypical fantasy, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this as well. And then last but not least, completely different vibe entirely, I got Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Now, if you haven't seen this before, we are not on the same internet. We are not on the same BookTube or Bookstagram or BookTok, because I have seen this absolutely everywhere. I cannot scroll without this popping up at least like 3 times. So eventually curiosity broke me down. I don't know if I'm going to like this, but I'm very much willing to give it a go. I've heard obviously good things from people who've loved it, but then I've also heard some mixed things. So I wanted to give it my own go and just see what my own thoughts are about it. So my understanding is that this is quite a long series. It's set in Ireland and it follows like teenagers. The series itself is called the Boys of Tommen series. I've heard they're like quite heartbreaking, and some of them like deal with some quite heavy topics, and I know the most recent one is quite controversial because of what the character does, but also what topics are explored within it, and some of like the graphic description of certain things. I have heard quite mixed things about the newest one, but as I said, I did want to give it a go myself, so I thought I'd at least try the first book and see how I find it. Johnny Kavanagh has everything going for him. Primed for stardom on the rugby pitch, he's a force to be reckoned with. Nothing will stop him hitting the heights, not even the shy new girl at Tommen College with sad eyes and hidden bruises, the one that distracts him as no one ever has. Life has never been easy for Shannon Lynch. She arrives at the prestigious private school praying for a fresh start, desperate to shake off the demons that plague her. On her very first day, she encounters the notorious Johnny. Instantly drawn to him, Shannon finds herself once again the target of bullies as she forms a fragile alliance with the rugby's rising star. Again, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, and now the time has come for my monthly book unboxings. Now, June looked brilliant across the board. I have been very much looking forward, in particular, to the 2 Fairy Loot picks. Yes, even the Romantasy one. And the Illumicrate one sounds really good as well. And obviously, the Broken Binding too. But let's get started with the Fairy Loot Romantasy subscription. I know I said time and time again that I was going to be cancelling this. I ended up not cancelling it because my friend wanted to try it out, so I was giving her the books instead of keeping them. And then I knew that this one was going to be coming up and I kind of really wanted it, so I decided to wait. But I think this might be one of the last ones that I do get after July, because I do also want the July book, and then I might cancel the subscription so someone else who really enjoys it can have it. But the spoiler card for June was Shackled Obsession, and I have been very much looking forward to this book, and I hope it's a really, really beautiful edition, because I did also quite like the original cover. So here we go. Okay, so we have Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. I've heard such good things about this and I've seen it everywhere and I really, really want to read it. I don't know how I feel about this colour scheme. I'm not a huge fan of the colour, so it's kind of like greyish with a dusty red. So we've got, I mean, beautiful art on the front and on the back, and we've got some nice sprayed edges. Again, I'm not too fond of the colour choices, but we'll see. Okay, I mean, the naked hardback is stunning, so that's fine. Very, very pretty. It's given like Manacled vibes, you know? If you know, you know. If you know, you know. But yeah, stunning. And then the end papers as well, and also signed by the author, but end papers too, very, very beautiful. And different on the back. So I think this is like a vampire story. And then here we have a reversible dust jacket with the original cover, but in a different colourway, because I think the other one's a bit more like pinky, purpley. I remember. I did expect this to be more purple vibes, so I'm quite surprised with the choice of colours, but it is pretty. However, I might end up putting the dust jacket the other way around. I'm not a huge fan of this one, sadly, but I quite like the original, so I might end up flipping it around. So let me just read you the blurb for this one. The war is over, the dark forces have won, and the hero who was supposed to save them is dead. After watching her brother die and her kingdom fall, Princess Bryony Rosewood is captured by the enemy, stripped of her magic and auctioned off to the highest bidder. She's sold to Toven Hurst, scion of the powerful and devious Hurst family, a secret infatuation, but Bryony can't submit to her feelings. A secret rebellion is brewing and she must escape to join it. Yet despite the horrors of her new world, help and hope can arise in the most unlikely of places. Very intriguing. I feel like this is maybe based on fanfic. Unsure, but I'm very excited to read this. I've heard very, very good things, and again, I'm trying to sneak this onto my TBR ASAP. Next we have the Adult Fairy Loot. So again, another one I've been really looking forward to. Fairy Loot has been smashing it out the park with their choices these past few months, and I'm very excited to see what the customization on this one is. So the card is Echoes in the Earth. I think you can kind of tell what it is based on the spoiler card. And let's see again. I really hope it's a nice customization. Okay. I've been so much looking forward to this. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I actually, by V. Schwab, I actually really love this cover. I don't know if you guys saw, but Illumicrate was doing a pre-order one, and that one looked stunning as well, but I do really like this. And the sprayed edges are beautiful as well. And on the back we have a nice quote with like a little poem, I guess. And this is reversible dust jacket of the original cover, again in another colorway, because the original is kind of like these colors. And the naked hardback is stunning as well, foiled. Again, the back with the poem type quote, and the cover looks beautiful. The spine looks stunning as well. And we have some very beautiful end paper art, and on the back it's different as well, so very, very pretty, very excited. Again, I remember reading the synopsis for this, and it was very short, very limited, didn't really give a lot away, and I was already sold, so I'm very, very excited. So I believe that this follows like 3 characters across 3 different time spans, and I think there's maybe like a sapphic element and potentially also vampires, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me quickly read the blurb. So this is a story about hunger. 1532, Santo Domenico della Calzada. A young girl grows up wild and wily, and Maria knows she can only ever be a pawn in men's games. So when an alluring stranger offers an alternate path, Maria makes a desperate choice. A story about love, 1827, London. A young woman lives a cloistered life in her family's estate until a moment of forbidden intimacy sees her shipped off to London. Once there, a beautiful widow offers Charlotte her freedom, but at what cost? A story about rage, 2019, Boston. College was supposed to be a fresh start, that's why Alice moved halfway across the world. Then an out-of-character one-night stand leaves a question in everything. Alice throws herself into the hunt for answers and revenge. This is a story about life, how it ends and how it starts again. So it sounds so good, and I'm very much looking forward to this. And again, I've been hearing really good things about this, and I can't wait to read it. Next, we have the Broken Binding book. So Broken Binding at the moment are doing completed series, so I know what this book is going to be because it should be the sequel to The Magician, which we got last month. So let's have a look. So we've got the 2 bookmarks. I think they'd forgotten this one in the last one, so we didn't get it, so I'm glad we've got it there. So yes, this is book 2 of the Rift War saga, which I believe is actually more books, but the initial one is a duology. Oh my god, this is honestly, they make some of the most stunning books ever. But yeah, so here we have Silverthorn by Raymond E. Feist, which is Rift War saga book 2, and I'm sorry, but again, stunning. Absolutely stunning. I mean, this is disturbing yet still beautiful. I don't understand. And then here we have some beautiful end papers and more beautiful end papers at the back. Yes, so I'm on tier 2, which means the books aren't signed, but honestly I don't mind. I don't really care for them to be signed. I do prefer it if I have got the possibility of meeting the author and getting it signed then. Otherwise, if it's just like a, I don't know, digital signature or a real signature, doesn't faze me. But yes, I'm very excited to read this series. It's a fantasy series from the 80s, and again, very like high fantasy type vibe with a chosen one magician, you know. But yeah, very much looking forward to this, and I'm kind of excited that this is quite short as well, because The Magician's actually a very chunky book, so I guess together they kind of balance out. Okay, and then finally the OG Illumicrate. So this is the obviously full box, so let's have a look. So the spoiler card for the month of June was Darkly Decadent, and this is a spoiler of what's inside if you want to have a look. And let's get started. So first of all, I can see already we have our next mug. I am obsessed with these mugs. The designs are always done by Rosie Thorne 88. We can find them on Instagram, and I love their art style for the mugs. It's so stunning. I also don't let anyone drink out of them except for me. So yes, I'm not sure what this is inspired by. Let's have a look. Okay, I mean, I don't know that I know what this book is, but it's absolutely stunning. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I have no clue what it's inspired by, so let's have a little look. Nested Soul mug, The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. So I do have that book on my TBR. I have not read it yet. Maybe if I had read it, I would have recognised it. But I don't care because it's beautiful and I'm really glad I have this. Next we have The Darkness Within Picnic Blanket, inspired by House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. Again, not a book I've read. I'm pretty sure I have a plant pot inspired by House of Hollow, also from Illumicrate, but I'm not 100% because I definitely remember like this sort of design vibe. But I mean, I can't ever do with too many picnic blankets, and my one has been used and abused, so this one looks stunning. The design is, I'm not going to open it because otherwise it'll take me ages to put it back, but the design is all kind of like this, and it's very, very pretty. So a very usable item. I love Illumicrate for their usability. Next we have The Saint Empire Spoon Rest, inspired by This Ravenous Fate by Hayley Dennings. Again, I don't know what that book is. However, I do need a spoon rest for the kitchen, so again, very good usable item. And another stunning one. I love these like ceramic kitchen things that Illumicrate make. The only one I haven't really used yet is this one, but I might take this downstairs and have both. So yeah, stunning. And their bowls and things like that as well. I mean, this is a very cute selection this month. Then we have For What Do You Hunger recipe cards, inspired by Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. I haven't read that book yet, but I do have it, and it's very high on my list. It's kind of like a vampire retelling, I believe. Again, very like kitchen based items, and these are very cute. Go bug my mum and get a bunch of recipes off her, although she always just says eyeball it. But yeah, these are very pretty as well, so I'll put these in my kitchen too. And then last but not least, we have the book of the month, which is, oh wow, okay, A Treachery of Swans by A.B. Poranek. And can we just, that is so beautiful, so beautiful. And the back as well. And then we've got some, I don't know what these are, but they're cute coloured sprayed edges. I guess not that as intricate as maybe I was hoping. It just looks like either feathers, probably feathers or leaves, I guess. Okay, stunning hardback. Love that. And then the end papers are also beautiful. And they're different here. I feel like, is this going to be a retelling of The Swan Lane? Should be. Feels like it, like adept and stuff, which I love. So magic has long been outlawed in Oriel. Odile has always known she'd be the one to restore it. Raised by a sorcerer, Odile has spent years preparing for the heist of a lifetime. It's perfectly simple. Impersonate a princess, infiltrate the palace, and steal the enchanted crown and restore magic to the kingdom. But when the king is unexpectedly murdered, she's forced to recruit the help of Marie, the real princess, and the two begin to unravel a web of lies and deceit that leaves Odile uncertain of whom to trust. Soon, Odile must decide her mission or the girls she's fallen for. So this sounds like also it's a sapphic romance. Again, perfect timing given it is Pride Month. Although these will not be read in June, but I did get them in June, so that's fine. But yes, another one I'm very excited to read, and another stunning edition from Illumicrate. I cannot hold up all the books, but these are the ones we got in our book subscriptions this month, and I'm very excited for all the ones I got as part of like my birthday book haul as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do pop a like. If you want to see more, please do subscribe, and see you soon.